Yo, I haven't done a video in a while. Sorry about that, kind of getting cray-cray, but I'll do a video today. The first thing I wanted to show you guys was we're doing Secret Santa here this week with the teachers. So each day we get, you pass a little gift to your Secret Santa person. Day one, the person got me 9 cans of Dr. Pepper. Day two, look at this. This is an electric seat warmer and purple. Has my person done some research, or have they done some research, folks? Okay, so every morning there are these ladies, Ajummas. Yes, they are. Good morning. They come around on what I thought was an ice cream truck, but it's not. They sell yogurts. Can I open this? See, look, yogurts and like health drinks, and they ride around the town and deliver you some stuff. And so I gave her my credit card information, and every morning she comes to PCA Korea and drops me off some yogurts. And see, she rides this thing. They're called Ajummas, which actually means like older lady. But they ride around and sell different like health and yogurt drinks out of their thing. And then she just bills me once a month. Yay! I was hoping I'd see one to record it because I love it. We saw these during the summer and I thought it was like, oh, a little mobile ice cream person. But no, it's like health stuff, and she delivers milk to people's apartments. And like I get this each morning, which comes with these 2 probiotic pills. This itself is a very neat design. You open this and just start drinking it. The liquid comes through the cap so you can drink the pills and then keep drinking your drink. Bye! Kamsahamnida! And now she's gonna go drive off. There she goes. And they go all over the city. There's lots of them. They're everywhere. There she goes. Have a good day! Hey guys, so I've had several people ask me how we're doing health-wise with COVID over here. So I thought I would send a message or do a video to kind of explain how South Korea is combating COVID, or trying. Okay, so keep in mind, South Korea is kind of a different social mentality than America. And I know I've explained this before, but it's important to have that understanding, because when the government in South Korea tells you to do something, most everybody pretty much does it, at least from what I've seen. Okay, in America, it's much more about your individual freedom. Darn the government for stepping on my, personal liberties and da-da-da, which, remember, I'm a libertarian, so I'm one of those darn the government people. But we don't live in America. We live in South Korea, so we respect their way of doing things here. I try our best to. So, okay. I say that to say, like, when they mandate masks, people wear masks here. And most of us wear the KN95 mask, not these things made of fabric that don't actually stop the coronavirus, but we wear KN95 masks. So starting, maybe it was November 1, masks became mandatory. What they mean by that out here is you can be turned in by a fellow citizen, well, I'm not a citizen, but a person, or if the cops see you and you're out in public, you know, without a mask on, you can be fined, and the fine is $100. That started November 1st, but even before that, people out here are kind of used to wearing masks anyway because of the air quality. So it was not that foreign of an idea to wear masks. So most people I see wear masks. Like, it's incredibly rare that I see someone without a mask. And what's funny is when I do see someone without a mask, it's like an 80-year-old. They're probably like, screw it. Anyway, so all that to say, when they mandate things out here, most everybody complies, okay? We don't have the compliance issue so much like you have in America. So starting November 1st, masks were mandated. Well, we're also kind of quick to go on lockdown, or I think America calls it shelter in place, or at least in Georgia, we had been in a shelter in place order, which is really honestly more of a suggestion. Like, you weren't going to be arrested or anything like that. Well, here it's illegal. Like, so, okay, let's talk about our numbers here first. Our numbers here are tiny compared to the US, but a tiny number here can explode to this very quickly because we're all on top of each other. We are living all in apartments, no houses. Everybody's in apartments, thousands of people in an apartment. We're all walking or using a bus or using a train. I mean, yes, a ton of people drive, yes. But for the population, just in Seoul, so remember, the population of Seoul, the city of Seoul, is roughly the same as the population of the entire state of Georgia. So yes, there's always a lot of traffic, but it is a minuscule percentage of the population that drives. The majority of the population use public transportation or walking. So when one person gets it, they have exposed like a gazillion people. And that is why they're so quick to shut things down here. When there's even a tiny rise in the numbers, what we would consider in the US, a tiny rise in the numbers. Here's how they know our numbers. This is another kind of big government thing. So there are CCTVs everywhere. That was before COVID, okay? CCTVs everywhere. To get a cell phone here is like an act of Congress, okay? So, and especially if you're a foreigner. So for us to get our cell phones, I know I'm going on a bunch of different branches, but it will all come together here in a second. To get a cell phone, you have to give so much personal information. So for me, Matt, Jordan, and Madison, to get a cell phone, and not a phone, we actually bought our phones in the US, but to get a phone number here, I had to turn in our passport numbers, our visas, our alien registration cards, birth certificates, marriage certificate. I mean, it is intense to get a Korean phone number. Eli doesn't get to have one at all because foreigners are only allowed one child account for every adult account in the cell phone world. So if you're a single mom and have more than one kid, or if you have two parents and many kids, you know, you're out of luck if you're a foreigner. Anyway, so a lot goes into having a cell phone number. Because cell phone numbers are so tied to everything, like my cell phone number has my address on it, you know, everything. Because of that, that is their way of tracking us. So when they go to different levels in COVID world here, you will get to where, like we are at a level right now, where anytime you go into, like when I go to Starbucks, okay? So no cafes are allowed to have people sitting in them. Everything's takeout kind of stuff. So when I go in, I walk in to get my drink and walk out, I have to scan a special QR code off of an app that I'm required to download to my phone. And that QR code has, it lets the store know the date and the time my phone number registered there. And my phone number, remember, gives them everything about me. So let's say I end up having some COVID symptoms. And let's say my employer requires me to go get a test. I go take a test. The next day, let's say I test positive. When I went to take the test, my cell phone number is tied to my test. So when that test comes back positive, every place that cell phone number ever checked in with that QR code gets notified. This person who came to your store on December 1st at 10 a.m. tested positive for COVID. Then those places then have to send a notification out to, if I was there at 10 a.m. on December 1st, all the people that checked in around me around that time then get a notification. Hey, you were at a store that a COVID positive patient was at. Go get tested. Then they go get tested. And then if they're positive, same thing happens, all tied to your phone. So because your cell phone number is tied to all your personal stuff, here's the other thing. Let's say in our neighborhood, okay, so there was a COVID patient, a COVID positive person who had visited a gym or something that's located across the street from our apartment. Because of the proximity, we got a message about it. Hey, there was a COVID positive person at the gym across the street from your house on such and such day at such and such time. Go get tested. Now, most people here will go get tested. That is one thing they don't, unless your employer is requiring the test or the school is requiring the test. If you're like a stay-at-home mom, there's nobody forcing you to go get tested. But most people here want to know if they have it or not, and so they go and get tested. We got tested the one time and that's it. So that's like the one thing that they can't really force if you don't have an employer to enforce it or a school to enforce it. But so when one person tests positive, they can then branch out and see, okay, these are all the people they potentially exposed. These people go get tested. Oh, now these 4 tested positive. From these 4, all these people got exposed. Now these 10 tested positive, so they can trace it back to like dude over here, right? So what they have been reporting, what they are able to report because of all this tracking that they do, what they're able to report is this one person ended up branching out into, in some cases, 116 positive COVID cases. Now, they can't totally say it's from this one person, right? But because they have so much that they track, they can kind of say, oh, well, it does, when you back into it, it does kind of back into this guy over here. So when there's one positive case, it can translate to 100. And so when we have cases like 400 new cases in one day, that's huge for them because those 400 could then just totally explode. Now, what has been interesting, there are these levels that South Korea has, 5 different levels, but they're level 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5, and 3. And they've built these triggers that says, okay, if we go 7 days in a row and new cases average between 300 and 400, we will move up to level 2. And that means schools have to go hybrid, cafes can only do takeout, so it's got a trigger and it's got, here's the result kind of thing. Well, we were at level 2.5 numbers, which is 7 days of between 400 and 500 new cases, and we've even gone into the 600s. We were in that trigger for moving up to 2.5 for a few days. And they still have only moved up to 2.5 in the Seoul area, not the rest of the country. So they're kind of not following their own guidelines a little bit. And that's been interesting to see because the guy that makes all the announcements, I guess he's like the health minister or something, he has released a statement and came on live and said, COVID is not a battle the government can fight anymore. Y'all need to, I mean, of course he's not saying it like this, but he's saying the government cannot mandate our way out of COVID. So, you know, you all personally need to decide what you're going to do to try to fight it. We recommend you wear a mask. We are going to tell, you know, when it gets to this number, we are going to tell schools to go remote. Okay, and we have to do that because it's a mandate. So the government is still doing things, you know, shutting down cafes, shutting down, you know, movie theaters and, you know, all that kind of stuff. But they've pretty much said, look, okay, we've done lockdowns. We've done remote school. We mandate masks. Most everybody complies. The virus is still around. And not only is it around, we've actually doubled new case numbers in like the last week and a half. It's gone from like 200 to 300 to 500 to 600 a day. And that's with us doing all these things. And most everybody follows the rules here. So I don't think they've given up. They're still doing certain things, but like it took them several days to move up the level. And they've come out and said, okay, the government can keep doing these things, but that's not what's going to make COVID stop. So y'all just need to wear your masks, wash your hands, use hand sanitizers. Don't go out if you have to. But, you know, there you have it. Now, there are vaccines coming out. Personally, that kind of freaks me out. I'm very interested to see if they actually mandate it out here. I mean, we have a flu vaccine and people still get the flu. People still die from the flu every year, and we have a flu vaccine. And the flu vaccine has been researched for years. Anyway, I don't want to get on a personal thing here, but I'm interested to see what they do with the vaccine, and if employers and schools are going to require, you know, your kid can't come to our school unless they have that this certificate of this vaccine or whatever. I'm interested to see how that works out here. But it was very interesting to me when they actually came out and said, okay, the government can't solve COVID. And I thought, right, correct. You can't regulate your way out of a virus. It's just going to get to people, and most of us are probably going to get it at some point. Even if you follow all the rules, because it's just a really strong virus, you know, as far as its ability to go around to a bunch of people. So that has been very interesting. But it is also, I know I'm using interesting a lot. This whole thing of everything is like tracked via your phone, like that, the whole Big Brother thing makes me want to throw my phone out the window. But let me tell you, you can't do things here without a cell phone number. You can't order delivery. You can't, like when things shut down, we're all using delivery services to get our stuff to us. You can't do that without a Korean cell phone. You can't get a taxi without a Korean cell phone. There is so much about normal life you can't do without a Korean cell phone. And that's their way of getting everybody signed in, right? So that they can track everything. Now, as much as that goes against my political philosophies, I will say the numbers they're able to report, specifically with this COVID stuff, are very, very specific. So you know, if your little area is having an outbreak, you know, oh, an employee at this grocery store I go to every night tested positive. Like, you know that kind of stuff, and they alert you. You get a text message about it. So I thought y'all would be interested in hearing that. Now, knock on everything made of wood here. Nobody at Providence, Korea has gotten sick. So that's a beautiful thing. And of course, we still want this thing to end, but I am kind of wondering, what is the end game? Is it 0? because I'm not sure that that's realistic. So if it's not 0, then what number of infection rate are we okay with, you know? Because people that have other health issues, this is really hard on them, just like pneumonia is hard on them, and you know, different things like that. Like when your body's already compromised, and this thing seems to have a lot of symptoms that creep up like 2 weeks after you've had it, because there's still so much unknown about it, right? So I'm not minimizing the virus. It's very much a thing, and it's killing people. But I don't know that we can ever really get to 0, but they're certainly trying out here. So I thought you all might be interested in hearing how the government handles stuff out here and how we are all tracked and things like that. I know this is kind of a rambling and lengthy message, and I apologize. But that is our update. And look at this. Providence, USA sent us these warm things. Oh, it's so nice. Next week we get 12 below freezing, and it's still not winter yet, it's fall. Okay, that's it for now.